Alright guys, so today I just came up with the idea of filming this video in a whole different, not only a different location, but a different environment. We are exactly 1,427 miles away from Culver's, and I wanted to make sure I film it as far as possible because I want this video to be positive. I feel like where I was going to film it at first was going to be very negative, because when I'm talking about something and I'm there, it tends to be more negative. And I'm not, I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to be more positive. This is going to be the first video of the story time. This one is going to be how I was hired. So a lot of y'all know exactly how I was hired if y'all watched the plan episode 3. In that video, I'm going to put it in the car right there, but in that video we talked about where I started. And obviously I started at Culver's. Culver's is my first job. I started when I was 16 years old. So I'm gonna basically walk y'all through exactly what I was thinking on that day in May of 2020. But I basically woke up one day, and back then it was during COVID. So I woke up one day and my friends were on the game. We always used to stay up late at night and play the game, and I would go to sleep at 4 or 5 a.m. because obviously didn't have any job or anything, didn't have nothing. So I'm like, you know what, let me see what they talking about. So I joined the party. This is on the PlayStation 4, by the way. I joined the party and everything, and they're talking about this Culver's place. I thought they were talking about a cleaner. I didn't care. I just heard them saying they were finna start working somewhere. So I'm like, oh, I need a job. I need to make some money. This is back in 2020. There was a lot going on. I was like, send me the link. What are y'all talking about? They sent me the link. So I'm applying, hoping, really in my head, I'm like, oh, because obviously I'm scared. So I'm like, okay, maybe he won't call me back or anything, He calls me back 2 days later because at this time it was Friday. So he calls me back and everything. And I answer the phone. He's like, hey, is this Jari's? It was Mike, the owner, by the way. I'm listing names. Whole documentary, not documentary, but whole story time is going to have names listed. Mike calls me back. He's like, hey, is this Jari's and all that? I was like, yeah, it's Jari's. He basically asked me if I wanted to come in for an interview on Mother's Day, which was, I think, May 11th or May 12th back then. It was in 2020. I got to look at the camera. I don't even see anything on here. Okay, Mother's Day was on May 10th. It was a Sunday. It always falls on Sunday. May 10th. And I basically tell him, yeah, let's do the interview. Come on. So I come in. I walk in for an interview. The restaurant's not even done being built yet, which you can tell because I walk in, you can still smell all the concrete and everything. They were mopping the floors. Like, he hired so many managers back then basically to keep the restaurant clean because it was during COVID and he wanted to make sure they had a good job. That was the type of owner he was. He wanted to make sure they had a secure spot and that they wanted to make sure the restaurant stayed clean before it actually opened. So he paid them outside of his pocket for a few months straight before he even opened the restaurant. That's the type of person, and that's why he was always my owner even when he left. So that's that. So I do the interview, right? He tells me I'm hired the same day, which I knew that was gonna happen because the interview was so good. And I'm not driving because I just turned 16, so I didn't drive back. I was with my mom. We're driving back to the house, and then he calls me. Obviously, when you get hired, you gotta do onboarding processes and all that. So obviously, he sends me the hire link, and then I look at my email and I complete all the tasks and everything. So then I complete the tasks. So now, they didn't open until June of that year. I think it was June 16th. It was the middle of June. But obviously, before we opened, since we were all starting together, there was a training week. And obviously it started on Monday, and for Monday we started. Obviously we met everybody, we got to walk around the restaurant, the stations, everything. We did all that, met some new friends, everything was good. Second day we basically started getting in depth of the training. Like, I was back at the house, so I know I started Fryer. Y'all already know the story of Fryer with the manager. We're not even gonna re-talk about that, but did Fryer, did middle. Well, no, not middle. I did fryer, buns. Didn't like grill too much because it was too hot. But I did all those stations. And everything was good. So then Wednesday comes around. Still the same week. And we go into the dining room and we're all watching the videos. These are the training videos, and we all watched them together. Some people fell asleep because they were boring. Some people stayed up and watched them. I was one of the ones that was in the middle. Either was dozing off or whatever the case may be. And, you know, I end up watching videos still, but, you know, I watch them. So we get done watching videos. We go back to doing the stations and everything. And then, you know, then they let us test the food. We do another, like, run-in session. They call them run-in sessions, basically, where, you know, we would make the food. Like, they would act like it was a mock opening and everything. So they would ring up the food, and they basically we'll have to make sure we make it right, whatever the case would be. Because mind you, that Monday coming up was opening day, and we were busy as hell. Like, I'm telling you, it was bad, and y'all know how that went. So we're doing the mock and everything's going good. So all the leftover food, they let us take it home. And I'm not even gonna lie, the food back then in 2020 tasted so good. I remember I took some concretes home. Like, it was so much, like, it was so good. But then obviously when you work at a place for so long, you get tired of the food. So then I stopped eating the food shortly after that. But that was training week. Training week went good, but I'm not done with training week. So we're on to, I don't know if I talk about Thursday. We're gonna skip to Friday because I don't think it was that much really to talk about. Friday, mind you, I didn't mention you. So we had some national trainers that came from different Culvers in the United States. They're hired. That's another part of their job on top of the one they already work at the restaurant. But you can basically apply to be at NTT, which is National Training Team for Culvers, because that's what it was. And they will be shipped out from different Culvers to help open new Culvers and to train your team. And we had a lot back then. Like, it was a new group every week. I think we had some for 2 or 3 weeks. I don't remember. But we had a lot, and they were good. But then when it comes to the managers that was at our restaurants, we had a few managers. Actually, I will almost say 50% of them didn't last till probably a month in. One manager that was training me on buns, he didn't even last a full training week. He quit on Friday, the last day of training. And I'm because obviously Friday was the last day. I didn't know because he probably went home and then quit after. Monday come around, because I worked, it was 5 to close. I remember I was gonna quit. Monday comes around, where is he at? Where is he to be found? I don't even know. So that's that. That was a waste of time, waste of labor, waste of everything. He just quits on everybody. We got another manager, I'm not gonna say her name. She is fucking, ooh, my mouth. She was caught, this was a rumor at the time, but I heard that she got caught doing crack or cocaine or weed or something in the dumpster. She was the manager on day one that yelled at me because I'm not gonna lie, I was behind on buns because it's my first job and I barely got trained. The screens were red. I probably would put like something on this video, but it was bad. It was so bad. And it was bad. Like, it was like that all the way until we closed. Mind you, I was probably the only one on buns, and I asked her for help. She's like, you need to get this screen clear before we close. That's basically what she said. I would never talk to my team members like that, ever. Never did, never will, ever. When I get into another leadership position eventually, later on in life, because I'm gonna pause on leadership, I would never. You know, when I mean I'm gonna pause on leadership, don't mean I'm not gonna walk the talk. I'm still gonna lead. But when we talk about like when I'm talking about the screen printed name tag I had, like, that's what I'm talking about. Because, you know, I'm just gonna focus on what I need to do and what I have going on. I'm gonna focus on that. And, you know, obviously with my next career / job, then we can move up with that. But now, you know, when we talk about Culver's, we're just, as this story time goes on, you always see exactly why I made the decision that I've made. I can't say too much, but this one is not really going to be as long. It's going to be short because this is just the introduction. Now, it's also going to get more interesting as the videos go on, but this is basically how I was hired. I'm only going to talk about the first few weeks of my job in this video, but you know, it really wasn't that much. But we were just busy a lot, and the leadership and management we had back then was not what they were hired to be. And you know, I would just say something before I end this video. I keep getting interrupted by the loud ass go-karts. Oh my gosh. What I would say before I end this video is don't let a job stress you out. A lot of people, it might be their first job. Don't let a job stress you out. A lot of people, it might be their first job, and like they might be scared or whatever the case may be, scared of being fired or speaking up or whatever the case may be. Don't let that be you. At the end of the day, a job is a job and you could be replaced. I will say that in all these videos. I will try to say that in every single video in the storyline, but a job is a job and they can replace you like this. It doesn't matter how good you are, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, they're always hiring. They're always hiring. And just remember that. It's somebody always doing something. They're always hiring, looking for other people. So just remember that. And that's all I'm gonna say. Just stay tuned for this whole story time. I'm gonna try to be straightforward with everything I say, which I think I am pretty much, being most I can. But just stay tuned for more videos, and I will see y'all in the next video.